It's Tuesday, the 17th of December, 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories, 5 minutes. Let's go. Story number 1. Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers has appointed an academic and a former bank boss to the new Reserve Bank Interest Rate Setting Committee, while 2 long-standing board members will move off the committee.
ANU Professor Renee Fry-McKibben, who was an author of last year's Independent Reserve Bank Review, got a gig. She's got a pretty impressive resume, been at the Crawford School of Public Policy at the ANU for 20 years, worked at the European Central Bank, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, Bank of England, Reserve Bank of New Zealand, Atlanta Fed. The next person to get a gig, Marnie Baker, former Bank of Bendigo and Adelaide boss, 35 years experience in banking, including 6 as CEO. What she really brings, in my mind, is real-life experience around interest rates and what that means for customers. 2 existing board members, Telstra Director Elena Rubin and businesswoman Carol Schwartz, will shift off the interest rate setting board. There's a new board called the Governance Board, bunch of people on that. It'll oversee stuff like human resources, internal finances, etc. The next structure kicks off in March after the first meeting of the year in February.
Sean, call me a cynic, but does it matter?
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, we don't know what Renee Fry-McKibben and Marnie Baker think about interest rates, but this whole new setup, this new structure, they, along with others on that interest rate setting board, will get a much bigger say. It won't just be the Reserve Bank bureaucrats presenting a bunch of slides saying this is what we should do on rates. I think the new structure and the spotlight that's been on the Reserve Bank means that these individuals will be much more vocal about what they think.
All right, you convinced me. On to story number 2 now, Sean. You've got a great story for us today. It's about bauxite. In fact, it's not just a story. You are calling bauxite sexy. Please explain.
Yep. Raw material. Bauxite's raw material for producing aluminium, natural product of weathering. Did you know Australia is the world's largest bauxite producer? Guarantee you didn't know that, Michael.
I did not.
The benchmark price, known as the Guinea grade bauxite, has hit $112 a tonne. That has gone through the roof recently. It's now more expensive than iron ore. Now, there's been a supply crunch in Africa, and Guinea is where much of the bauxite comes, apart from Australia. Well, it's being hit. Also a jump in demand from China. Why is there a jump in demand? Because aluminium is popular at the moment. So steel takes iron ore, right? Good for big construction. Aluminium, though, used for electric vehicles, batteries, solar panels. Much higher demand for that now than there has been previously. Australia's biggest exporter is Rio Tinto. Rio is benefiting from the bauxite boom.
Good story. On to number 3 now, Sean. Law firm Minter Ellison says at least 80% of its lawyers and partners will have to use artificial intelligence tools in their daily work by March next year.
Minters will provide 3 AI tools. They'll train people in them. The firm's leaders will have to hit AI metrics as part of their performance hurdles. Now, partners and staff at Minters report that using Copilot has saved them an average of between 2 and 5 hours per week of work, according to a report in the Fin Review. Not all tasks can be done using AI. There are prescribed functions, but certainly professional service firms are among those in Australia embracing AI relatively quickly. Other companies who seem to be doing the same, Commonwealth Bank, BHP, Pro Medicus, Sonic Healthcare, no doubt AI is spreading its tentacles throughout the business community.
Indeed it is. Story number 4, Sean. The East Coast is experiencing an extreme heat wave with temperatures in some locations pushing beyond 40 degrees.
And that is putting all sorts of pressure on energy, particularly in New South Wales. Yesterday was one of the hottest December days on record. Parts of Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland pushed into the mid to high 40s. The Northern Territory faces extreme heatwave conditions for much of the next 3 days. Alice Springs in the Northern Territory is expected to hit 43 degrees. Southwest Queensland's Birdsville could reach 45 degrees, according to a report on AAP. Melbourne likely to hit 41 degrees. Pretty hot. And some locations in Western New South Wales could approach December records, 46, 47 degrees. Well, Kenya being one of those.
All right, that was story number 4. On to number 5. Last one, Sean. A Russian tanker broke apart during a heavy storm in the Black Sea over the weekend, spilling some of its 4,300-ton cargo of fuel oil in what could potentially be one of the region's largest environmental disasters in years.
The carrier came apart about 8 kilometres from the shore. Its prow sank during bad weather in the Kerch Strait, which separates the east coast of the Russian-annexed Crimean Peninsula from mainland Russia. At least one of its crew members were killed. Another carrier with a similar group ran aground after sustaining damage shortly afterwards. According to the Financial Times, Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered a working group to rescue the ship's crews and deal with the consequences of the spill. Not a lot of information about just how bad it is at this point. Officials told Russian Newswire Interfax that they were investigating a possible error by the crew and storm damage as a reason for the breaching. The tankers were built in the early 1980s, designed to be mostly used on rivers, only supposed to go into coastal waters during calm weather, and it wasn't calm.
It was not. All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It is Tuesday, the 17th of December, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't long enough for you, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.